We start with devastating news. After days-long searches, the U.S. Coast Guard says the missing submersible that set out to see the Titanic suffered what they call a catastrophic implosion. Debris has been found on the ocean floor, and all on board are believed to be dead. Roxana Sabiri has the latest.
4 days after the submersible Titan was last seen, the U.S. Coast Guard said a remotely operated underwater vessel found something in the search area near the Titanic.
An ROV, or remote operated vehicle, from the vessel Horizon Arctic discovered the tail cone of the Titan submersible. The ROV subsequently found additional debris. The debris is consistent with the catastrophic loss of the pressure chamber.
Titan, owned by the OceanGate company, was taking 5 people to see the Titanic wreckage when it went missing on Sunday.
According to OceanGate's court filings, at least 46 people successfully traveled on its submersible to the Titanic wreck in 2021 and 2022. Still, the company has faced criticism for years.
Follows no code and follows no jurisdiction.
Engineer Bart Kemper was part of a marine technology group that has expressed concerns over OceanGate's continued operation without what the group said is typical certification.
How rare is it for something like this to happen?
We have not lost a non-military submersible before. We've had failures, we've had fatalities, but we've never had this type of incident happen before.
The Titan crew included a British billionaire, a Pakistani businessman and his son, a Titanic expert, and OceanGate CEO Stockton Rush.
In a statement, OceanGate called the men true explorers and said, "Our hearts are with these 5 souls and every member of their families during this tragic time." Now, the journey from where OceanGate submersible was dropped off to the Titanic and back was expected to take about 7 hours. The sub was dropped in at 8 a.m. and the base ship lost contact with it 1 hour and 45 minutes later. Now, that didn't raise alarms at first because the OceanGate team was used to communication blackouts.
There have been times, as you mentioned, last year, they got lost on the bottom for 3 hours during the expedition that I was on. I guess what really worries me is we know that they sometimes lose contact with, they don't know where they are.
The wreckage of the Titanic is about 2.5 miles deep. If 9 Empire State Buildings were stacked on top of each other from that depth, they would just reach the surface of the ocean. Now, several units and many different technologies assisted in this search and the location of the submersible debris. There were boats with sonar capabilities scanning the water's depths, Coast Guard planes flying over the search area looking for anything that might be floating, and remotely operated vehicles, or ROVs, which are ultimately what found the debris. The ROVs are equipped with lights and cameras to send back video of the dark ocean floor to experts so that they can analyze what they saw.
It is a difficult day for all of us, and it's especially difficult for the families, and our thoughts are with the families today. But this was an immense support, and we had the right gear on the bottom to find it.
Of course, the work is not over for investigators. The ROVs will continue scouring the ocean floor in an attempt to help reconstruct just what happened. Investigators will work to figure out a timeline and then to find out what we can learn about this tragedy so it does not happen again. Now, in the meantime, those who knew the crew members and the people in the ocean research community are remembering the lives that investigators believe were lost at sea.
I haven't completely processed the fact that Stockton Rush, the CEO, the designer of the sub, the pilot of the sub, is gone. I spent 9 intense days with him last year on the Horizon Arctic, the very ship that has just discovered the wreckage. And P.H. Nargeolet, one of the most dived Titanic experts in the world. These were amazing guys. These were adventurers. You know, these are not like me, possibly you. They thrive on risk and danger and exploration, and it's hard to think that they're just gone like that.
We'll be right back after the break.